Three Scientology ads are currently being displayed at London's Tottenham Court Road tube station on the Central Line platforms. They read the words, "I'm a Scientologist," and have the message, "Curious?" with a link to their website. When I was a teenager, I was forcibly held against my will at the Church of Scientology in London and was subject to varying degrees of punishment as a staff member. I was paid on average £20 a week, despite having a full-time role there with an office, a desk, and a job title, Director of Public Book Sales. It is Scientology policy to invade privacy and re-traumatize the public in order to find their ruin so that they can present Scientology as a solution to their life's problems. Although the Supreme Court ruled in 2013 that limited rooms in their buildings are considered places of worship for the purposes of religious wedding ceremonies, it did not overturn the 1984 High Court case in which Lord Justice Leahy ruled Scientology, this is a quote, is both immoral and socially obnoxious. It is corrupt, sinister, and dangerous. It is corrupt because it is based on lies and deceit and has at its real objective money and power for Mr. Hubbard. And it is sinister because it indulges in infamous practices both to its adherents who do not toe the line unquestionably and to those who criticize or oppose it. End quote. And that, quote, it is dangerous because it is out to capture people, especially children and impressionable young people, and indoctrinate them and brainwash them so that they become the unquestioning captives and tools of the cult, withdrawn from ordinary thought, living, and relationships with others. End quote. In 1971, the UK government commissioned an inquiry into Scientology's practices, with Sir John Foster concluding the organisation's practices raised serious concerns, especially with regard to the mental health of vulnerable parishioners. The findings of this inquiry have never been disputed or overturned by the government, and in 2023, the Right Honourable Mother of the House, Diane Abbott, issued a statement sharing her concerns over Scientology's practices in the United Kingdom. The Charity Commission denied Scientology charity status in 1999 after it reviewed their practices and determined that their organisation does not benefit the public, a view that was reaffirmed in a statement published in 2023. As a former Scientologist who was abused by this organisation and who now receives seemingly endless harassment, including my front door being smashed in as a result of speaking out, these adverts cause me not only great offence, but upset and distress. The adverts do not carry a disclaimer warning people of the government's findings, the Leahy ruling, or their lack of charity status, and do not make any mention of the numerous stories of abuse that have been reported by former members. They are also likely to cause significant mental distress to anyone affected by this group's harmful practices, families who have lost children and loved ones due to Scientology's policy of disconnection, and critics who are bombarded with fair game attacks as a result of sharing their concerns with others. Seeing Scientology advertised on public transport is a disgrace and acts as a promotion for an organisation which has been widely reported in the media as engaging in horrific crimes and is likely to cause serious harm. They should, at the very least, be accompanied with a disclaimer or advice on how to contact mental health services for those affected. Scientology and its founder L. Ron Hubbard have been found guilty of fraud on multiple occasions in Europe, as well as in the United States, where several senior executives served jail time for the largest infiltration of the government in its history, known as the Snow White Project. This was orchestrated by Scientologists at their UK headquarters at St. Hill, none of which is displayed as a warning to those who see the ads. For this reason, we will be protesting at the Transport for London headquarters on Friday, and I'm here to bring you the information. But first, let me say hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining. Rio for Life, Kim D, hey, hey, Lupita T, Lisa Terry, hi Alex, hi chat. Shropshire Lass, good evening. Thank you so much. Rachel Harris is here. Sorry, I missed the last couple of lives. Managed to make it to this one. Well, welcome along. Thank you. Good to see your name back there in the chat. Lisa Terry says, at the moment I'm housebound and can't walk, but if I ever get my independence back, I'll be at your side, guys. Well, this is the thing. Protesting is not something that needs to happen in person. It does to some extent, and that's why we are protesting in person. But if for whatever reason you can't be there with us in London on Friday, you can still support the cause and support the protest by joining the live stream, which will be here on my channel, and by sharing this information on your social media platforms. So don't feel restricted by your location, disability, anything like that. You can still be an effective activist from your sofa. But for anybody who is in London and is able to join us on Friday, please do. But first, let's have a little look at these adverts. This is an article that I wrote on my blog, Scientologybusiness.com. I actually went to Tottenham Court Road where the adverts are located to go and check it out the other day, and I took these pictures and I did a bit of a manhunt. I was trying to see the extent of this advertising campaign. Now, ads on the London Underground of this size in this prominence of a location cost on average £3,000 each. There is a minimum order of 3 adverts, which means they have spent at least £9,000 on these ads. And there are reports that these ads have been popping up in other places, such as Piccadilly Circus. We're only at the beginning of this campaign, so we're yet to see where these ads are going to pop up around London. But it's clear Scientology has spent a lot of money on this campaign, and it's only just the beginning. So I went to track them down. I went to St. Paul's, which is the nearest station to their London org. I went to Tottenham Court Road. I went to Goose Street. And the only place where I could see ads is Tottenham Court Road. However, ad availability is flexible. When you book a campaign like this, and this is coming from my experience as a marketing person, it depends on when the billboards become available, because different billboards have different lengths in which people have paid for their advert to be placed on those ads, and then there's a couple of day turnaround time for TfL to go and put the ads up when the train lines are closed. So when you start a campaign on the London Underground, it doesn't always start everywhere on the same day at the same time. It usually takes a few days, if not a week or two, for it all to be put in place. So it is possible we will see more of these. But let's have a little look at this article that I wrote. I'll put the link to this down below if you want to read along with me. I haven't put it down there just yet, but I will do shortly. The Church of Scientology's new Hi, technical difficulties there. The BTs are here, clearly. Let me have a little look. Where are we? I hope you guys aren't now hearing me double. Let me mute and remove those. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen again. And let's carry on. Please let me know if there are any sound issues now, because I am apparently in the StreamYard lobby twice. Anyway, the Church of Scientology is causing a stir. So this is their latest ad. This is one of 3 that are located at Tottenham Court Road Station. Let's carry on. The story was picked up by London's Metro newspaper, which reported a Londoner pointing out TfL doesn't allow junk food to be advertised, but this is apparently fine. Danielle, I had to go out and come in again. Yes, yeah, so did I. But we're here now. Okay, cool. Seriously, what the hell is wrong with TfL? Ads for Scientology are infinitely more damaging to the public than ads featuring burgers. We visited a number of tube stations today to gauge the extent of Scientology's ad campaign, and spotted 1 poster on the westbound Central Line platform and 2 on the eastbound side of the Tottenham Court Road. They feature Robert, a cinematographer, Joe, a musician, and Elizabeth, who is described simply as a mother. See, this is what I find interesting, is it's kind of indirectly discriminatory, because if you look at this one, it's got their occupation, Robert, cinematographer. This one is Joe, musician. But poor Elizabeth, the only female featured in this ad campaign, is just described as a mother. I mean, I'm sure, there are people who are stay-at-home mums, and that is their job, and that's what they enjoy doing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what message does it send that you put 3 ads out, 2 of which feature men with job titles, and 1 features a female who is just described as mother? Did she not have a career? Does she not have a job? Would it not perhaps be better to have a more equal representation? Maybe run 4 ads and have a stay-at-home dad, for example, or have a mother who has a job as well and have 4 ads so that it's equal. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. But anyway, it says a lot. No adverts can be seen on the Northern Line platforms or at Goode Street, the closest stations to their Tottenham Court Road test centre. We also visited St Paul's, where their London Ideal Org is located, but there were no Scientology ads in sight. Tottenham Court Road is one of the busiest stations on the London Underground system, with figures showing 58.72 million people used the station in 2023. According to rail stats, 13% of passengers use the eastbound Central Line platform, which suggests Scientology's campaign is targeted at maximum exposure. The ads simply read "curious" with a link to their website and make no mention of where their nearest Church of Scientology is located or what their beliefs are. In a statement to Metro, Transport for London said the advertisement was reviewed against our advertising policy and was found to be compliant. This is despite the High Court judge. I won't carry on reading this because it does just go over the points that I read out at the beginning of the video. But I just wanted to add in there that I visited Tottenham Court Road Test Centre, where one of the buildings that I used to work in, and it was empty. I think that's what's even more funny about this campaign, is they are hoping that it leads to an influx of people walking into the Scientology buildings in the local area, and they forget to put on the advert where the building is, and nobody is going to the building, which is good. However, that doesn't mean that the adverts don't cause distress and don't cause upset for people like myself and fellow cult survivors, which is why we are protesting to get rid of them. So let's jump into the protest on Friday. This is the information. This link is in the description. It is the TFL protest. These are the 2 protest signs that I have sent to be printed today. If you are unable to attend, but you want to support financially, you can contribute on Buy Me a Coffee. There's a link down below. I've set up a wish list item to cover the cost of these 2 placards. They're the same size and style as the ones that we use at the IES protest on big sticks. However, I've gone for double-sided placards this time, so I've got 4 being printed, which means it's 2 signs, but 4 because it's 1 on each side. Hopefully that will give us a bit of visibility, but if you don't want to contribute, that's absolutely fine. I'm happy to front this cost if need be, but I know a lot of people watch these videos and contact me and say, how do I financially support you? So if you want to contribute towards offsetting that cost, you are more than welcome to through Buy Me a Coffee. But the best thing you can do to support this campaign is show up in person or share it on social media and engage in the live stream online. So, cult adverts enable abuse is one sign, and the other sign is why are fast food ads banned but not abusive cults? Cult adverts promote and enable abuse. There's a little bit of a statement here, which is very similar to the one that I just read out. And here is the protest information. So, Friday, the 24th of January at 1 p.m. at the TFL headquarters, which is near Southwark Tube Station. Our message is cult adverts should not be allowed on TFL services as they enable and promote abuse. Please wrap up warm and remember this is a peaceful protest. Please also consider complaining to the Advertising Standards Authority. Now, this is something that I have been doing today. I have written to the ASA, I've written to the Mayor of London and requested a meeting. I've written to TFL and I've complained to one other organisation as well. The key point here is that Scientology have had an advert banned before in the UK. I believe it was 2016, I think it was. There was an advert, or it might have been 2013. There was an advert called Our Help Is Yours. And Scientology flashed all these statistics up on the TV that said, we've helped 10 million people get off drugs and we've helped 50 million people through our volunteer minister program, whatever the stats are. And there were complaints made to the ASA, and the ad was banned because it was found that Scientology had just made those statistics up and they had no way of backing those claims up. And in the UK, if you promote something and you make a claim, you have to be able to evidence it. Now, they've been very careful with this advertising campaign because it just says curious with a picture and it doesn't actually have any claims on it like the last ad did, which was the one that got banned. However, it is possible to ban an ad in the UK or at least get it removed if it is proven that it causes distress and it causes upset in the public, which is why it's important that you also, if you feel distressed by this, if you feel that Scientology shouldn't be advertising on London's public transport, that you also consider submitting a complaint to the ASA. There is a link on the website, which which I was just showing on my screen. It's asa.org.uk/make-a-complaint.html. Again, I'll put the link down in the description down below. But you can put in there that you were distressed, that you were upset to see occult advertising on the underground. And the point is here that it sends the wrong message to survivors of abuse. There are a lot of former Scientologists who are seeking justice, who are using YouTube as a platform to share their stories, who are facing harassment and intimidation as a result of speaking out. Scientology do anything and everything they can to silence us critics and intimidate us into silence. So when ex-Scientologists are dealing with that, they are also coming to terms with the trauma of what they suffered inside Scientology. It is outrageous that TfL are allowing Scientology to have a platform at one of the most busiest tube stations on the tube network in order to try and recruit new people. Seeing this advert is likely to cause serious mental health stress and upset and alarm to anybody who has suffered abuse, whether it be in a cult or a domestic relationship or anything like that, because it is widely known that Scientology does engage in these harmful practices, and it should at the very least carry a disclaimer that this is a controversial organization. And here's where you can go for help if seeing this advert has caused you some distress. AO Shaw, an electronic banner ad is on rotation with others opposite Waterloo Underground Station on Waterloo Road 2. Thank you for letting me know. Please snap a picture and send it to me. hello@apostatealex.com is my email address. Please send me pictures of anything that you see out and around London, because I'm trying to document all the locations that these ads have been placed. Really interesting information. Thank you. SP Crusader Leany. Hi, Leany. There was an electronic poster shown by another streamer. I'll have a look and try and find it again. Thank you. Yeah, that would be helpful. If anyone does see a Scientology ad in the UK, please snap a picture or a video, send it over to me, and I'll keep it as a record, and it all goes in as evidence. So thank you. Shropshire Lass, send a letter or email to your local MP. Absolutely. I have a meeting with a member of Parliament tomorrow in Westminster. It was meant to be last week, but it was rescheduled. And this is absolutely something that is on the agenda for my meeting with this MP tomorrow. So I'll report back tomorrow on how all of that goes. Rachel Harris, I've heard Family Survival Trust is a good resource for help people who need help, 100%. And somebody from the Family Survival Trust will be joining us in protest on Friday, because this is a united front. It's not just about Scientology, it's about cults and coercive groups using TfL services to promote their abusive practices. And so anybody who is affected by this is welcome to join us. Thank you so much. Alrighty. There's also on this page, download signage if you want to print your own signs. Obviously, like I said, I'm getting some printed, but if you want to download them and print them yourself, you can do so there. And there's also a link, moving on to the second part of this video, to a new website that I launched, which is scientologyabuse.com. Now, how Scientology don't have this domain name, I don't know. I've owned this for some time. I've been sitting on it for about a year, trying to figure out the best way to use it. Now, last year, I put a statement out on my community page asking people to send me their stories of abuse and what they suffered inside Scientology here in the UK for use on, with a project that I'm doing to do with Houses of Parliament and members of Parliament. Now, as part of that campaign, I also asked these people, is it okay if we publish your stories online, print them out, give them to MPs? And everybody said yes. So I finally got round to publishing them on this website. And this is one of the things I will be sharing with this member of parliament tomorrow. Scientologyabuse.com is simply just a collection of stories from former Scientologists. It is quite triggering for anyone that wants to read this. Please be aware it's not pleasant, but it is just a repository of people's stories and how it was for them being in Scientology. All of the people that submitted so far have just given their names as initials, which is absolutely fine. If you want to submit your story, you can do so. There is a form on this website, and you can either submit anonymously or you can put your name on there. But the idea here is simply just to collect people's personal stories, give them a platform to share their stories in their own words, and they will be published unfiltered, unedited, and they will be up there forever as a record of what people have suffered inside Scientology. So if you were in Scientology and you want to submit your story anonymously or with your name on it, please use the form on that website. The website is scientologyabuse.com, and it will be shared with government officials, members of parliament. It doesn't have to be a story in the UK. It can be anywhere in the world. Please submit your stories, write in your own words. It can be as long or as short as you want, and it will be published and it will stay there forever, unedited. The whole point is it's your words, because I want to make sure that we are giving people a platform to share their stories. Rachel Harris says, I wonder what the Labour Party has to say about Scientology. They've never been quite as sympathetic as the Tories when it comes to religious groups. Yes, this is what I find interesting. I found this with my activism, that strangely, left-wing parties are a little harder to get on board the cult movements in terms of like activism against cults and coercive groups. Historically, conservative governments have been more willing to jump on the bandwagon of supporting cult survivors than left-wing governments. Now, that's not a statement saying you should vote either way. We have a left-wing government, we have a Labour Party in power at the moment, and I'm not saying whether that's good or bad. I'm just saying historically, it's been harder to engage Labour politicians than it has been to engage Conservative politicians, which is kind of odd because you wouldn't think it would be that way round, considering what the parties stand for. But nonetheless, it hasn't deterred me in my mission to engage members of Parliament. And indeed, I have members of Parliament who and politicians and government officials on both sides of the political spectrum who are supporting and engaging in this fight. The whole point is it's a numbers game. The more MPs we have who are aware of these stories of abuse and who are aware of the wrongs of TfL advertising cults, and the more MPs and government officials that are aware of what Scientology are really doing in the UK, the more likely it is we will see some sort of action or government intervention. So if you are watching this and you live in the UK, please consider writing to your member of parliament and simply expressing your concerns and request a meeting and say, hi, as your constituent, I would like to arrange a meeting with you so that I can share my concerns in person about Scientology and other coercive groups. And I would be more than willing to travel to wherever you are in the UK to join you in that meeting, to support you in any way, and offer advice, offer information about Scientology's practices, offer documentary evidence of how the government have intervened in the past. So anything I can do to support you, please don't hesitate to get in touch and keep me informed of any sort of government action that you manage to do, because it helps us to have a united, coordinated front. So let's carry on. One other big piece of news today is it is my PTS Declare Day. So on this day, 11 years ago now, I was declared a potential trouble source by the Church of Scientology. I have a golden rod framed on my wall just over there, and today is the anniversary of the day I got kicked out. Now, I carried on being a Scientologist for several years afterwards. I was given a return program. I did a petition. I wanted to get back into good graces with the church, because even though I'd been declared a potential trouble source, that didn't mean I overnight gave up all of my beliefs and my faith in L. Ron Hubbard's technology. It took a long time to gradually deprogram myself from all of that, and not being there every day, being indoctrinated all day, every day. It took some time. And I think the last course I ever submitted was in 2018. And it was about 2016 that I probably stopped considering myself a Scientologist. But nonetheless, I was declared a potential trouble source today. So it's my declare-iversary. I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I thought, what better way to celebrate than to arrange a protest outside the TFL headquarters on Friday. So that's kind of it from me. It's in a nutshell. Join us on Friday at 1 p.m. We'll be protesting outside the TFL headquarters. We'll be live streaming for those of you who can't make it in person. Please complain to the Advertising Standards Authority if you feel that advert causes you distress or upset and you feel that it is alarming. You don't have to be a UK resident to do so, because there are people who all over the world who travel to London to use the Tube network and who will be seeing this advert. You can complain online. There is a link for that down in the description down below. But that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you all on Friday at 1 p.m.